What specifically makes home field advantage matter more in college than in the NFL? There are several things. This is a really good question because everyone just says home field advantage and it's kind of like word salad. It just all jumbles itself together. There's a big difference. So think it through with me. If you're a college football player, there's a lot of firsts that you're experiencing. So in college, the environments are louder, the stadiums are bigger. I think the passion per capita in that stadium is far more intense than it is in most pro stadiums. So number one, it's just a lot more intimidating an atmosphere to go into. And then the second part is a lot of the guys going in are doing it for the first time. And even if they're not, even if they're seniors, you just don't have a lot of that experience under your belt. You got 9-year veterans in the NFL who have played in front of, at that point, like tens of millions of people combined over their careers. And it's second nature to them. There is nothing second nature for a 19-year-old kid about playing in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on a Saturday night. There's just not. People tell you, oh, you get used to it. You don't get used to it. That's like people who play in the Big Ten saying, yeah, it's going to be -3 at kickoff, but our guys are used to it. No, they're not. Half your recruits are from Florida, and they train during the summer. No one gets used to playing in -3 weather. No one gets used to playing in front of 103,000 people either. So that's part two. But part three, and the part you don't get to see, but the part that fascinates me the most, is unlike the NFL, there is a legit disadvantage in terms of the amenities and the actual infrastructure that is afforded to a road team in most major college stadiums. And I always use Auburn because I think it's the best example that I've observed. At Auburn, you've of course got the palatial locker room and everything looks great for the home team. It's right there, easy access to the field. For the road team, and I want you to keep in mind how big the teams that play Auburn are, Alabama, Georgia, LSU. If you could see how deep these teams travel, the team itself, the roster, but then you've got the support staff, and you've got analysts, and you've got nutritionists, and you've got trainers. They have, like, it looks like hundreds and hundreds of people. They pull 5 buses in there to carry their entire support staff, and then you got some folks who have already shown up before the game. The locker rooms aren't big enough. They can't fit everything they need to carry in the locker rooms. So if you're at Auburn, I've been down there dozens of times, I always love to go outside the road locker room because there is not enough room. There's just spill out all over this little platform that's back there. It's underneath the stadium, kind of in the bowels of the stadium. And so you've got, especially at halftime, you got some guys that don't even go in the locker room. They're just spilled out into the corridor there, and it's dark, and you got grease boards, and you got position units talking, and you've got guys getting retaped, and you got guys just pouring Gatorade down their throat, eating pickles, everything you do to stay hydrated during a football game. And when you try and make your way back to the field, unlike the road, or unlike the home side, the road side is a single file tunnel. You can't even walk next to a dude. It's single file. Now, do the math. How long does it take to get an entire football team off the field single file and back on the field single file versus what you deal with down there in the home accommodations? What did you buy yourself there? You may have bought yourself 2.5 to 3 more minutes of halftime adjustments, however you define that, than your opponent there. How many points is that worth in a game? I have no idea. I just know it matters. And I mentioned Auburn because that's a specifically hostile place to go in and play. That stuff doesn't exist in the NFL. Like the worst road locker rooms in the NFL are still fine. No one ever complains about that stuff. And if they do, it gets collectively bargained with the league and it's just taken care of. It's not a problem. You would not be allowed to run the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta that way. They wouldn't allow it. Plus, some of these new stadiums have like 5 or 6 locker rooms. That's how they host events like the NCAA tournament, where you have multiple basketball teams in there. That's how they host state playoff games for high school, where they have multiple teams in the building at the same time. How do they pull it off? They got more than 2 locker rooms. So it's not a problem in the pro game. And I'm not calling it a problem in the college game. I'm calling it legitimate home field advantage in the college game. I do my best when I'm on the road to take the iJosh and give you guys footage of that. If you follow on Instagram, at LateKickJosh, you see I post a lot of that in the Instagram story. You just have to be watching on Saturdays. But always fascinating, those road accommodations or lack thereof. Like you think Iowa painting the locker room pink is a home field advantage? No, imagine not even being able to see the locker room because you can't get into it. That's home field advantage. I hope nothing ever changes on that front. I love that.